I will probably not edit this out because it's basically a vulnerable video. So it's not really a vent video, it's just something I wanted to kind of share about myself. If you have watched my videos, I'm truly indebted and grateful to you. Thank you. However, if anyone watches this particular video, it's like you've met me halfway. Because I'm going to be talking about me and how I developed a mentality that I'm actually sharing it on the web. Because I feel like I should explain it, but not because I need to owe anyone an answer. I myself have been thinking, who am I really supposed to be? Besides a servant of Allah or God, who am I supposed to be in this world? What purpose do I serve? I've been thinking about all of those questions, and I just think that it's nice to share. So, first of all, if you are new to my channel, I'm Suzu. How I like to describe myself is blunt, but also someone who's optimistic to search for solutions. Now, I want to be transparent about something. Okay. I have mentioned this before, but no offense, I can't always be bothered to mention this because it's tiring to explain. But my videos are not here as some kind of lecture guide. You resonate with what you resonate with. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying you have to study the book. I'm not saying you have to follow some guidelines. I just want people to see me as a human being. Please don't pedestalize me. I know some people have been asking me to cover topics. I'm completely fine with that, but please just know I'm talking about what works for me. I'm a human being just like you. I have my own problems going on, and I would just appreciate it if people were to see it like that. I haven't got anything quote unquote figured out, and the advice I give, I'm still taking it to I take my own advice as well. And life can suck. But anyway, so I grew up as a very insecure kid, and I always felt like I needed to get something done, especially at a quick pace. I always felt like I was lacking in something. And I think it's just to do with the fact that I just grew up in a very competitive environment. So when you're a kid, people don't say much, but it kind of does sting a lot. So if you have grown up in, I don't want to mention culture specifically because I don't want to just say, okay, I'm of this culture, therefore I go through this. It's not the same for every single person. And likewise, you don't have to be of a certain culture to experience competition. I've just always felt like I needed to prove myself as a kid. And I always felt like I was falling behind. I needed to do something quickly. I needed to ensure that something worked out in my favor. I just had to make sure. And I developed a survival mentality, which was actually the most dangerous thing that had ever occurred to me. With this mentality, I felt like I had to do everything at a specific time, in a specific way, and it really wasn't fun. Now, I'm holding anyone's hand, and I'm not gonna really say trigger warning. I mean, to an extent, yes, but it's not like I'm gonna give it specific detail. I'm just vague. I like to be vague with things because I know people can be sensitive. But in a nutshell, during some point as a teenager, early teenager, I started having dark thoughts. If you know, you know. Thoughts that just involve not liking life. You know, you know. Every single day, at least once a day, I would feel this way. I remember the time where I was expecting it as well, because I was that used to it. I was just thinking, oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to feel sad for no reason, aren't I? And yeah, when I think about it now, I'm so thankful to God that I don't even have it near as much as I used to. And it's not just God helped me kind of thing, because I want to be really, really real with my videos. I mean it when I be real in my videos. When I try to tell things for how they are and look for a solution, this actually came from a rebellious response to what I've been through. As a kid, I've just been taught that everything would be hopeless if you don't do it. I've been told that if you're too positive, you're naive. I've been taught that if you're always negative, you're just going to be depressing. And then somehow my brain wanted to fuse the two together without creating something absurdly overwhelming. And that's how I created my blunt yet optimistic stance. By saying things for how they are, because we must always address things. And I feel like when I say I'm blunt, I say it. I can downright say this sucks. I hate this. Instead of saying it's okay, it'll get better, I just downright say it sucks. But then I tell myself, what's the solution? How do I make it suck less? You know what I'm saying? So I like to take initiative. And it's strange that I'm making a video like this because I didn't think I would actually make a video like this, and all of a sudden it hit me. So I was just thinking, if you guys wanted to know where I got this mentality from. So it's more like you're listening to my story, and if you can relate or if you feel some kind of inspiration, then there you go. I didn't just develop this mindset overnight, okay? And growing up, I had immense self-hatred, especially as a teenager. Generally, I didn't like myself, didn't like my appearance, I didn't like how I sounded. I just didn't feel like I was worth anything good, especially when I'm with people. That's why I mention people a lot in my videos. This generally for a lot of topics. Because I felt so insecure. And whenever I think about this, I remember that people are people. They make mistakes. We're all human beings. But obviously, when you're in a situation where you're always being compared to, where you always feel like you had the disadvantage, you're going to feel like it's your fault. You're going to feel like you're the one who caused everything. It's an intrusive thought, but it sucks. I mean, intrusive thoughts suck anyway, but oh well. So it's strange because I haven't solved this problem. To be honest, it's a lifelong thing. Oh my god, we are all going to have problems throughout our whole lives, and we have to just learn how to navigate through them. That's what I also like to say in my videos. We navigate through them. I don't think I'll fully be, cured of whatever I've been through. I'm sure I'll carry traces of it, but at the same time, I have to try my best to reduce it as best as I can. Or at least ensure that it's under maintenance. It's actually, what's the word? It's controlled. It's like anxiety when I mentioned. If anyone hasn't watched any videos where I mention, anxiety is something that exists for so many of us, yet we don't just stop. So I've had anxiety, even now I still do, but I still work with it. And some people say you'll never be cleared of anxiety. Some people, they can by some miracle, and I guess they've done a lot of their research and took initiative. But for some people, anxiety is something that just lingers and lingers and lingers. But at the same time, you still work with it. You learn how to survive with it, and at the same time, you also learn how to work with it. So, yeah, I just don't like the idea of being hopeless because if I made a single mistake, everyone would find out about it. And that used to weigh a lot on me. It still can, but as you grow older, it's like, okay, people are just being immature again. But as a kid, imagine you do a small mistake or any mistake. If it's you, it's somehow a big problem. If anyone else makes that mistake, it's not as bad as how it is for you. And I hated that. I remember, like, my eyes are actually getting watery thinking about it. Because the poor kid who had to hear all of that, she didn't do anything. Like, if I'm talking about mistakes I did, probably dropping a glass. Not even breaking it, just spilling some water. And some people would blurt it out so loud that the entire table would hear it. Or just everyone hears it, and honestly, it shatters my heart when I think about it. So I learned how to control my own mistakes. In a way, I'm thankful for these lessons and for the pain. Not because it's for the pain, F no, definitely not. It's because of how it's allowed me to program my mind. I've developed, like I said, kind of a rebellious response or whatever. Because I didn't embrace it. I taught myself it's absolute bull, because it is. And instead of being a bad person and being spiteful, not trying to glaze myself whatsoever, once again, I'm a human being. I do mistakes. I get annoyed. I do stupid things, say stupid things, and I just navigate through life. But when I think about the fact that, okay, if I drop water now, I don't treat it like a big deal to myself. I'm just like, whoops, clumsy me. Again, that's it. I just laugh it off. And then I realized how insignificant that is. And think about it. Some people make it such a big deal, it's on your mind 24/7. When you could just shut up and then it would not become a problem. So yeah, I feel like it's something that was deeply rooted in me as well. I've always wanted to be someone who solved things. And as a kid, I didn't exactly have that. I had the hopeless mentality. And if anyone is wondering if I forced myself to be optimistic, no. I know I do say I have a grounded optimism, but I let myself feel. And I always encourage this. Let yourself feel. Your feelings are valid. I let myself feel, and this can take days, this can take months. But at the end of the day, I know I'm worth it. I know that something good's coming. I know that there's always a good reason. I don't force myself to be optimistic, but I still tell myself that good things are on the way in a way that feels realistic. Because let's be real, if I was really in a sad or depressed mood and someone was going to tell me it's going to be okay, that does not help me. Okay, depends on who the people are. I'm grateful that you care. But if someone just says you'll be fine, that's insensitive. I'm sorry. But if I was to go through life and then I just realize, yeah, I will be fine because I've been through worse, that's realistic. Do you see? Because I'm not telling myself bull like, oh, it'll be fine. You'll get sunshine and rainbows. No, 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 no. I like to use facts, not just feelings. Facts over feelings, always. What's real is real, cannot be changed. But your feelings, they change. They are never reliable. Especially fear, sometimes. You don't do things because you're scared. Maybe you needed it all along. But with facts, you've done it. It's in the past. It's imprinted. So that's how SuzuTales was born. Okay, first of all, I was not a commentary YouTuber initially. Oh, Shadaddle Skadoodle, he is right there. Wait, what the fudge? Bro literally saw me and he didn't. Okay, I hate this. Sometimes I don't like this game. Why do I always spawn here? I do not know. But hey, this the stuff. Anyway, I don't know why I don't get the unicorn. I should. Anyway, that's the birth of SuzuTales, I guess, my personality. It's just something I've developed over the years. So whenever people see me say things like, oh, it's not easy, it's blah, 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 I went through stuff, okay? And I'm gonna say this while holding people's hands. I don't want anyone to see me as insensitive. Look, you can have a sad backstory, perhaps the saddest one, but at the end of the day, it is up to you what you do with your life. If you keep complaining and you don't do anything about it, that's where things are questionably just gonna be your fault. Your feelings are valid. What you've been through is valid. What you've been through, take your time and heal and understand that, okay, fine, it was unfair. But listen to me. You either just die pathetic by not helping yourself, or you just do something about it. I could have just let myself go, like properly decay with those depressing thoughts. But I didn't. It took me years, but it was worth it. Because it serves me in the long run. And I'm not special. I'm not someone who needed an extra, whatever. Like, even though I'm a believer of God, I still went through all of that. And people think with religion, you just feel like everything is just somewhat okay. No, it's not. Things can be easier in the sense that you trust something is going for you, but religion and faith, faith is a very fluctuating thing. When you go through a very difficult part of your life, even that can feel challenging. But the point is that I still took initiative. I still searched. I still did stuff. I still lived. I still searched. I looked for everything. You see what I mean? So your backstory can be sad, and I Have compassion. I feel you. But if it's been a certain number of years, or you feel like it's just making your whole life miserable, you need to do something about it. And that's what I try to encourage in my videos. I know some people get the wrong idea whenever I say things like this, so that's what I wanted to say. I could have let myself go in the dust. This SuzuTales that you see on your screen or whatever wouldn't have existed if I had just caved into those thoughts, but I didn't. It's not easy, but hey, life's not easy. But yeah. And as I grow up, faith increases and patience increases. It's not like everything is just fixed. Like, okay, wow, everything is just perfectly arranged now that you have faith. No, you get tested with everything. Everything is a test. It doesn't have to be a divine one. You're just naturally tested with everything. People can be a test, like you test of your patience, or let's see if you have a test of endurance, all of that stuff. Everything tests you. And that's another thing. So this video is definitely more catered towards you listening to me and what I have to say. And I apologize if it doesn't have any personal benefit to you, but I just thought of just telling people more about the person they're watching, because that's literally how things are. I wasn't born with this mentality, this optimistic, blunt thing. This isn't just bull. This is something I can 100% guaranteed maintain, I promise. It's not like I'm just spamming positive affirmations on the spot to just say just when I feel down and blah blah. No, I hate that. It's me finding real solutions, because I genuinely believe that things can have solutions. And people can say it's naive, but you know what I say? I think it's pathetic if you're always in the same state. If you don't try and you keep saying life sucks, I think it's pathetic. And once again, I'm not looking down on anyone. I'm saying this as tough love. If you just complain that your life sucks, despite everything you've been through, if it's been a long time and you should have done something about it, that's when it gets pathetic. Initially, it's very valid, because what you've been through is not your fault, and that's something you need to always remember. It's not your fault. But will you define it forever? Let me give you a very specific example. Let's say you had a best friend or a few friends and they just didn't work out. Will you then say, oh, friendship's not for me for the rest of your life? Do you see the problem? And that's how you obstruct your own happiness. Because yes, those friendships hurt, but that doesn't define the whole ocean. Those fish do not define the whole ocean. You see what I mean? That's what I mean by it getting pathetic. Anyway, I think this is a good place to kind of stop ranting. I kind of did go off topic. I don't even know anymore. I think I just get too caught up in the topic that I just focus on. I don't even focus. But yeah, I just thought that talking more about me can give someone a bit more perspective of what it's really like. And the video's intention is not to say, oh wow, I've come this far, I'm showing you. No. The video's intention is, if I can make it from a situation like that, so can you. And no matter what you've been through, at the end of the day, you can make changes. I'm telling you. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Life's not easy. Life is not going to just become easy for us. Life's always going to test us. Life is always going to try and go ahead of us, but we have to catch up. No one teaches us how to catch up. We just have to move. It's ruthless. But if we learn the game and we know the rules, we'll catch up sooner than we realize. Okay? That's the thing. And I'm not talking about catching up to other people. I'm just talking about life's plans for you. Because you guys have got this. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that this mentality came from a place of just corruption. I was a mess. And I still have low days, by the way. It doesn't guarantee me being happy or just having everything figured out. I'm still figuring things out. But it's made it a lot easier and definitely manageable. So this is your sign to allow yourself to have good things. Allow yourself to really forgive. Forgive yourself for everything you've done. And even your past, no matter what it is, use the broken pieces. If the past broke you, use the broken pieces to create something even more beautiful than what you had. That's the thing. Let your pain be worth it. That's another mentality I have. Let your pain be worth it. I always tell myself, if I've gone through this much, I even tell this to God. I speak to Allah when I say this. If I've been through this much, then I expect something big from you. That's what I tell him. And I don't say this in an arrogant way. I just say, if I'm waiting this long for something good, I expect something big. And likewise, if I've gone through so much pain, I'm going to make it worth it. I'm going to make it worth every tear. I'm going to make it worth it. That's how I feel. I turn my pain into honor. And that is when things become different. When you realize you're a warrior and not some victim, you can withstand so much more. So yeah, that's the story of SuzuTales, I guess. Before I became, no, this was after I was a storytime animator. I don't think I was this vulnerable as a storytime animator. I think I was just talking about my cringy moments in life. But yeah, I think that this would resonate with some people, but hopefully it's something that isn't too bizarre. I feel like I'm not doing anything that different because I always speak naturally anyway. But about myself, this does feel a tad bit embarrassing. Then again, I've had moments where I've fully just collapsed while recording. So, yeah. Also, if I'm zooming in a lot, not to annoy you, it's because I'm talking about something serious. Anyway, I hope this resonated with you, and before I leave, I'd like to say to please support my coffee page as well, and I will see you guys in another video, hopefully.